Hello guys, someone asked very politely for a Tetra explanation. Ignore the armor I'm wearing, I'll go F5. I'm Choso Gaming, I'm gonna explain Tetra and also what this mod pack is, because I kind of just skimmed over it in my last video. First things first, you got hammers, right? So hammers you can make like this, with stone, or with wood. Preferably stone is the best thing to start off with. This is a netherite hammer, this is an obsidian hammer, both of which are pretty hard to make, and you kind of see how I get it throughout the video. It doesn't really matter. So I have two craft benches here, and you're like, why would I need two crafting tables? I don't know. First things first, you gotta right click it with a hammer. Any hammer works, you don't need a hammer in particular. So I can put something in here. So this is my hammer, I can edit this hammer. There's a bunch of fancy stuff on it. Who cares? That's for another video. Really, I wanna show you guys, there are a few unique tools you can make with Tetra. This comes from a structure that you'll get to see later in the video, and this one is like a cool tool, right? So I made it, plop it in here. I want to show you guys something I made right now instead of something I made a long time ago, and it's kind of like a sword, but it's a mining sword. I've never really used it, and whatever, it's garbage, who cares? So let's make a regular sword. And you're like, okay, so now we have this basic iron sword, and plop it here. I can change the blade, I can change the fuller. This is a bunch of stuff. It's very complicated, I understand if you don't get it all at once. So this will do stability, will change the effective modules, this will give it extra durability, extra speed. But the problem with using these is it increases your integrity usage. Integrity usage goes up and down dependent on how many different modules you're popping on. The main thing I wanted to show you guys right here really quick is you can turn tools, even though they're vanilla, into different kinds of vanilla tools. Like emerald swords don't exist in vanilla Minecraft. That's enough about that. I think that makes enough sense for Tetra. Also, when you use Tetra for the first time, you get this hollow sphere, which has a bunch of like material on it, but too much information. You don't need to worry about all that. The crux of this mod is I'm getting these Eyes of Ender to progress the story of this mod pack. I'm supposed to get all of these to go to different dimensions and get all that done. Alright, so we're back from the intro, and it's time to finally get to where we're going. I explore a bunch as per usual. This video overall, I spent 16 hours just getting lost and messing around and doing cool stuff. Like I had a lot of fun with this mod pack so far. I am just messing around in this village. We got a waystone. I think waystones are a lot of fun. It's a more organic way of teleporting. A huge issue I come across with Minecraft is like, yeah, you're traveling forever and everywhere, but when it comes to actually getting back home, either you're dying or just making a new house. With waystones, you have no such problem. You'll just, use one to get back. And in the distance, we can kind of see something funky, and that is in fact a pyramid. I spend about 2 to 3 hours exploring said pyramid, but I so kindly cut it down for you guys because I, respect your time, and I don't even want you to have to fast forward through stuff now. You're gonna have to sit through cuts instead. Why I didn't cut through this part, I'm not quite sure. So now we've gotten to this point. I'm getting a debuff that prevents me from mining quickly. The labyrinth is what this pyramid is, and I'm reading all the text. I think I read this out loud. So the goal is I have to find 5 different levers. None of these levers actually were that easy to find. The first one was in this room. Okay. I check out a chest. There was a bunch of guys in the room previous to this one over here. So we're up to 1 lever, and the second one is right over here. And I found it. I placed the torch down instead. So here's an alligator room. There are so many alligators. I had to actually pause my game and turn my volume down because the alligators were deafening. I actually hurt. I try to leave myself little messages, sometimes for the video, but sometimes just for myself. I like expressing how I'm feeling in game. I would dance around more if I had the energy, but I think it's a little bit too silly. So we get back in the tunnel, and there are a bunch of alligators. I think they're actually crocodiles. If anyone in the audience cares about the difference between an alligator and a crocodile has a more U-shaped nose, and a crocodile has a more V-shaped nose, which I feel like should be the other way around, but it doesn't really matter. People don't care about the letter it starts with when it comes to face shape. So that was the 3rd lever. This is the 4th one. I'm exploring this lava room. I really thought it was behind the lava over here. And honestly, I would have dug through the entire lava pit if I had the patience, if I didn't find the lever right over there instead. I died to that fire trap, and I spent another 3 or 4 minutes actually finding this lever. This maze was very effective. I would call this a real proper labyrinth because it was just that hard to find my way around. So I found all 5 levers, and this unlocks this chamber over here. So in this chamber, we have a little skeleton, and then I jump down. This one, I think for a final room for a dungeon, it's really cool. I did cheese this one quite a bit, I'll admit. Like, I know that the creator of the mod went out of their way to prevent you from cheesing it, but I so did, man. Like, you can't give me mining fatigue. Like, I don't like mining fatigue as an entire basis. I die, then I get back down again. I spent just so long on this. If I didn't cut this down for you guys, you'd be spending the greater part of like 4 hours to even reach this part of the video. Honest to goodness, I don't know how it made me take that long. But here, you ready for a surprise? There's just a Pharaoh right there. I genuinely jumped. I don't even know what they were cooking with that. The Pharaoh came out of nowhere. The first time I showed up around this area, I just didn't expect it at all. And I shoot him like 10 times with my bow and arrow. This guy had so much health. How he got from where he killed me to over there, I'm not quite sure either, but, you know, it's a problem for a different person because he's already about dead. Okay, couple more, come on. How much health did they give this guy? When it comes to boss mobs, just giving them like 10,000 health might be a little bit silly. I don't know if I show it in this video, or in any part of this video to this point. I do, I make some mending armor, as otherwise I would just never, like, have any pieces of armor. And this is one of the best things I got in the whole mod pack so far. It's a waystone, or warpstone, not a waystone. A warpstone is a thing that you can use in place of a normal waystone, as you can teleport to any other waystone that you found already. And that's awesome. Like, really, there's nothing more you can ask for. Actually, I can ask for some netherite and some other fancy stuff. I can't use netherite scraps yet. I almost died here. Like, I'm so uncareful. I was too excited about getting the loot because I had spent so much time already. There's some nice special books. So these ones you apply to something that's already enchanted. Ancient tomes are unique in that aspect since it's just a +1 instead of something that you can just combine to something that's already enchanted. So now we're skipping forward a bunch. I am in the Aquamaris mod area. I spent another few hours getting here, and man, was it slow. I took so long. I really, like, I can't express how sad I was spending how long it took to get there. I made a nature compass and found an ice, like a frozen ocean biome, right? And in that frozen ocean biome, there was no Aquamaris anything. So then I had to go to the next one. And I think the next one had it, or it might have been the third one. But either way, getting to that point took a while, and it was quite worthwhile. I got some nice stuff. I really like the Aquamaris mod just for the art style. I think it has really pretty models. So the main bosses are this like eel guy, and also Cornelia. So Cornelia I had fought once previous already, and I couldn't kill her, not because she was too hard, but she regens a lot, and I just couldn't out damage her regen. When it comes to regen, like, there's not really a counter beyond just doing more damage. And I fight this eel for forever. He got some beef on him. My armor is a little bit better than during the labyrinth, but not that much better. And like, when it comes to the loot, like, this loot is garbage. Like, I don't need freaking pickleweed. I was checking to make sure that it wasn't part of an Eye of the Ender recipe, and I promise you it was not. So this eel is going, it's biting me, things are getting rough, and I even pop some fury. So rage makes you do more damage on consecutive hits. I don't know exactly how it works because I just don't know. Everything's complicated, but if you look, I do crazy DPS. He's pushing me back. He only has a little bit of health left, and eels are just not that hard, I'll be real. Come on, let's finish him off. And I got him. So this guy dropped a treasure pouch and also a soul thing. The treasure pouch is all that we care about here because it's part of an Eye of Ender. Now, like I was speaking before, here's Cornelia. Cornelia, she's really annoying. So she throws you around. She has some chakram things, and I throw the kitchen sink at her. I have a bunch of totems of undying. I did a few raids, but I didn't get any Eye of Ender drops, so I figured it wasn't really worth showing. When it comes to raids, they're just right as you would expect, I guess. So I burned through a bunch of Eyes of Ender and totems of undying, and this mod pack kind of got a little bit gutted, or not this mod pack, this mod in this mod pack got kind of gutted when it came to the items from Aquamaris. Is typically Aquamaris has a bunch of special, I don't know what you would call it, special bonuses that you get for using its items. And there's one in particular that you're supposed to use for this boss, and I don't remember what it's called, that it's like it does extra crit damage, but the developer of this mod pack decided that you shouldn't be able to do that, and it's just useless. I also don't think you can shoot this lady with a bow, or even if you can, like, bows shoot too slowly. I fought her so long, I had to re-up my buffs multiple times. Like, this is quite the fight. I think she's probably the most interesting boss I fought in this series to this point. I like the mutant mods, like how they look, but I don't think that their fights are particularly interesting. You just kind of hit them with a sword until they die. But I guess it's every Minecraft mob. The reason I couldn't beat her before is not that she has too much health, it's that she throws you around at one point and then re-heals almost completely. And I don't know if there's a limit to how many times she can do that, but she really just did it over and over. So this is her throwing you around move, and I try to shoot her with a bow, and I cannot do that. It just doesn't work. And I can't reach her either. Maybe if I had like long reach, I think there might be a cooldown to how frequently she can do that. But now that she's done it, I can just wail away at her, and I have to use my Fury Charm again. It really speaks to the difficulty of a mod when you actually have to use buffs. Like, I think that most mods, like, yes, bring interesting things to the table, but when it comes to actual difficulty, are not that hard when it comes to, like, you know, beating enemies. But if you can't, like, beat an enemy even with buffs, then it's maybe a bit too hard. So, you run the risk of the mod just being unfun. Anyway, you get her down, and she hits me again anyway, even after I've killed her, which is a little weird. So, I accidentally killed some things over there. I get a hook, because now I'm a pirate. Yarr. And I go through all of these chests, because I need to go through all of these chests. The main star of the show here is I get to use my ice key that I got from Cornelia. And I'm basically just got junk. Rune of the Storm doesn't particularly work, as I am almost completely bound to using everything from Tetra. And it didn't work on Tetra. I really thought that I could put it on, and I just couldn't, and it was kind of sad. But it looks cool, for what it's worth. I think that it's nice to know that I can pick up funny things. And I get an enchanted golden apple. I carried that crystal dust too, like I pick up this crystal dust stuff. No idea what it does to this day. It doesn't have a crafting recipe, like maybe it does something of meaning, but I couldn't tell you. Anyway, and I found a dark forest. I need the dark forest biome, so this is great, just in case I forgot what a dark forest biome was. And I found exactly what I was looking for. So this is where the Conjurer is. I was looking for it in my last video too, I think. I couldn't tell you, and I'm lagging. Lag is unfortunate. I don't know why mods like to lag on a personal server. Like, I'm not hosting this anywhere except for myself. And I was worried I was gonna die. Like, not that worried. The Conjurer is kind of like a lower tier boss. I'd say, like, Cornelia is actually hard. The stuff that you get, you should be using, like, netherite and vanilla. At least, I don't know. I might have cheesed it. And I'm fighting this guy. He has a really cool moveset. He bounces around, he teleports you around, he kind of goes invisible and stuff like that. There's a lot to talk about here. He also summons little killer bunnies. I'm sorry for killing bunnies. I know bunnies are very adorable and should not be killed for any reason, but they were trying to eat me, so like really did I do anything wrong? No. I think he's right behind me. Come on, finish him off. Let's go. He has a lot of health. 240 is quite a lot for this guy. And I got him. And he died over there somehow. I'm not really sure. I think he teleported like at the exact same time. And that is, in fact, my first completed eye. And by completed eye, I mean that I got the materials for it, and then I thought I actually had all the materials for it, and then I didn't because I didn't look properly. If you see right there, there's a carved pumpkin. If I had just taken up this carved pumpkin with me, I would have been able to craft it right away. I don't know why I'm so completely lost, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, temp. I name all of my waystones temp, by the way. And my home's place is Ramakumred. So this is my Eye of Ender. Finally, this is our first custom Eye of Ender, and it is the Corrupted Eye. I actually found the stronghold during this play session, but it doesn't matter right now. At my fell lamp from the first episode. I have to go get my horse. I have a few of them, so I don't really like. If I lost it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Anyway, I open up this chest, and I have to kill this cursed guy. Come on. Okay, we got him. He really dropped 2 things. That's unreasonable. So, in this, we have the Power Glove, which is really good, for obvious reasons. It makes you do more damage. Oh. So, I found a Mutant Enderman. You can't see anything during this. I'll just let you know. Like, this guy, he just makes you blind the whole fight. But the reason why this guy is worth killing, you'll see in just a second, and by just a second, I mean like several minutes. This boss fight is really hard. I was talking about how the mutant enemies are interesting, and this is probably my favorite, at least in the sense that like it doesn't just one-shot you. Like my problem with like the creeper is it does way too much damage. My problem with the zombie is it does way too much damage. You get the picture. So I'm fighting this mutant enderman. I'm beating him up. Really, he's beating me up. I was taking a lot of damage. The speed of sound. Not Sonic, though. I have, in fact, never played a Sonic game, if you didn't know. I don't know why you would. So, I'm exploring, and I'm killing this guy, and drop your stuff. Come on. Why am I going through my inventory mid-boss fight? Like, what are you doing, man? You can really tell I'm not being particularly careful. And I'm going to finish him off right about now. So when the Enderman, Mutant Enderman dies, he drops a bunch of like crystal fragment stuff everywhere. And it does a lot of damage. I think you can break them and they give you Ender Pearls. Or maybe that's just how... Or it's Eyes of Ender too, I didn't even know that. So I get all that stuff. And you're like, why would you care about this guy so much? And it's genuinely a really simple reason. It's that when you complete this quest, you get a very interesting quest reward. And will I ever look in my inventory? Did I forget? I actually have most of the materials to make that Eye of Ender thing. So this is the Ender Pouch. The Ender Pouch is so useful. It's a portable Ender chest, and it probably saved me like 40 minutes of going back and forth to my base whenever I get lost. Because I spend a lot of time getting lost. Anyway, I make this crafting thing, and then I get Dame Fortuna. I have fought Dame Fortuna before. I think he's a really cool boss. The music is really unique, and he has 450 health, which is, I think, to this point, the most health of any enemy I've fought. The Pharaoh guy might have had something similar, but he also probably had more armor points than this guy, so it's hard to say. Anyway, boss time. This one was really intense. I was very sweaty. I'm very sweaty now. My room is very warm. So I fight this guy, dodging, weaving, taking so much damage. The first time I fought this guy, I super died, I'll be real. I did not have totems of undying that time, but now I do, and this is my time to take him out. By this is my time to take him out, I mean I'll take him out in like several minutes, because he's too good. He's too strong. The thing that's really difficult about this one is not only does he attack you a lot and like rapidly and blah blah blah, is the fact that he's hitting you from above and below at the same time. I feel like very few bosses in Minecraft are able to hit you from above and below at the same time, as it's quite difficult to do so. If you were to talk about maybe the Ender Dragon, I think the Ender Dragon can do like its like breath move, and the lingering breath can be on the lower end, and then it can attack you from above. But I feel like if you're getting hit by the breath, like the breath he or she, not he, does very infrequently compared to Dame Fortuna. And I beat Dame Fortuna. Fortune's Favor can be made into a sword and a few other things outside of this mod pack, but those things are disabled. I have no idea why, because the sword is not that strong, mind you, but it is unique, and it makes you do extra damage randomly. It's kind of a gamble-based character, and I make the Slicer's Dice, and I equip it too. So I do random extra damage sometimes. So this is a key thing for Tetra. Tetra is really tedious, and I figure out how to make the claw thing. I did have to Google this. So this is a forgotten forge. In this forge, you can usually find a forge hammer. They're kind of like the ultimate crafting bench. I'm trying to pick open this forged container, which is like a really big super chest. I try to pick it open, and it doesn't work, because of course it doesn't work. Sometimes it bugs out. Okay, I finally got it to open. I definitely had to relog to make that work. And I open up the chest. Chest isn't working. I might have even had to relog a second time. So a chthonic extractor, something that you can place on bedrock to has a lot of text. I don't know that it's that cool, but I've messed around it before, and it looks nice. Like, it's interesting. And I opened up some crates. I opened up like probably 100 of these. Insulated plate is part of the foremost of the foundry. So instead of finding a forged hammer and teleporting back and forth to a forged hammer to get better upgrades, I'm picking open this forged container. Bonk, bonk, bonk. I don't know why they're adding Tetra if you can't use the forged hammer. Like, the forged hammer is like a really, really essential part of progression. It basically makes you go straight from stone to like netherite in one step. But instead of using the forge hammer for that, they just give it to you. I open up a few more chests. It's a lot of gunpowder. I probably should have gotten more of that. I was while I was playing this, I was really mad that they didn't let me get a forge hammer. Like, I just think the forge hammer is really cool. Basically, it's this like big anvil thing that you fill up with lava, like the lava cells, not like actual lava. And within them, you can put whatever you want. That's kind of what we do for paper, to be honest. Okay, and then I make the earth piercer. Now I add Phonos to the foundry, and that is the story of how I got all of the stuff. Blub, blub, blub. Now we are deep below the ocean, and I am fighting a thrasher. I call them thrashers because I have to thrash my mouse around to actually kill them. Not only do I have to kill one, I have to kill multiple because the first one didn't work, and I'm still thrashing around. Now I got a tooth. So this tooth is part of an Eye of Ender, and we're on a nice area. So now I'm looking for some fish. In this jungle there are piranhas, as you would expect, and those piranhas have what I'm looking for. Hopefully I can find some. That there they are. Got some piranhas. They don't even attack you for some reason. This black eye I have most of the materials for, some of which I got from like fighting Cornelia and the like. Oh, this is me fighting the halibut. So I've looked around a bunch. I had found a halibut before, but I accidentally ate it. I had found quite a few Pacific halibut, but doesn't matter. They see me use my waystone. Go to Ramarock Med. Sorry. The waystones are kind of just like a bunch of like key smash when it comes to names. This one is my home base. I kind of just used where I put a few chests in the end of the first episode as my base. Quite a few things have blown up. I think a mutant creeper died right there. That's why there's like a huge hole everywhere. What am I doing? Just like getting lost. So now that I have a key material, and I can make Pacific halibut. That's in my inventory. I had to kill a few blobfish. Bobfish. Holy crap. Blobfish earlier to make like goop fish oil, I think it's called. And then I left that in a different chest. And I'm like, where did it go? Blah, blah, blah. It was right in there. The ender pouch. So I pop all that in there. And this is my second ender pearl. It took me forever. I think I'm like already 13 hours out of 16. And honestly, I just took too long. This is part of our third and final eye of the episode. We have an Elder Guardian. I killed 2 to 3, or maybe even 4 to this point, and it's a 50% drop. So I was quite unlucky to have not got it by this point. And man, I was happy to see that, because I did not know if I was going to be able to find another one. I get my Prismarine, more Prismarine, I get my Tempest Pearl, which I got earlier. I didn't put that in the video for some reason, I'm not sure why, but I'm getting all the materials. It takes me forever to find all this stuff. There's so much, man. There's some coral. So the coral I picked up with my axe, and you're like, how do you pick up coral with an axe? I have Silk Touch on my axe, and that was enough for me to get it. You really get to see how much of a mess my chests are. Like, it is insane how much stuff you need to make a lot of these items. And for my third and final pearl of the video, we have the Guardian Eye. And that is the end of stage 1, or the start of stage 1? Because at first I was on stage 0, and now I'm on stage 1. So stage 1. And I am quite excited. I get to have my backpacks. I get my distress call heart container. I think I had it the whole time and I just didn't even realize. So I have even more health than I did previous. How do I get more heart containers? I cannot tell you. And man, I am happy to get to this point. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you stay tuned for the next one. I have spent so much work on these videos. I edited down, not including what the work my editor has done, and I really appreciate any and all support you guys give to this series. I know the videos are long and you don't have to watch all of them, but please try to watch the end if you can. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Choso Gaming out.